Hi guys, welcome. Here at savedroid, we have today, as promised, we would do more AMAs with more members of the team. Yasin, our CEO, in the previous AMA announced this, and here we are committing with that. We have today to present you some answers on the product side. Myself, Inês, the head of community marketing at savedroid, and at my side here, Leela, our DevOps engineer.
Hi guys.
I hope you guys are going good on that side. We know it's a holiday in many parts of the globe, including some regions of Germany. So yeah, I hope that whoever is on holidays, lucky guys, you are enjoying your holidays and hopefully also watching it live. So welcome everybody. Maybe we can start with some short introduction. On my side, some of you probably noticed I've written some public announcements on Telegram. I also lead the customer service team here at savedroid, and I help with other marketing activities, including social media content. I also help with our content inside savedroid. We write regularly some articles for you guys, so actually feel free to check it out.
Yes, I should say the Inês is the vibrant employee of the savedroid group.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah?
Very well. High five. Good. So as far as my experience goes, I've been leading teams also in tech companies in the past 7-8 years. So I also try to be the interface between you guys and the other departments of the team. We collaborate very much as well together, Leela, and also the development team. So that's pretty much it. On my side, as a short introduction, how about you, Leela? Can you tell us a little bit about you and what is actually, maybe many people don't know about this, what is a DevOps engineer?
Yes, Inês. I should say DevOps is the most focused or buzzword nowadays if you see outside, especially in the software development area. So the word came out from the terminology coordination between the development team and then operations team. So if we talk about any software that you are developing, your software needs to be, a code should be written and your software should be deployed in a system to make it available to the users. So in the past, there is a difference between the teams, operations team and the development team. So development team used to code it and operations team used to deploy it in the system to make it available to the users. Now, as you know, we are moving to a new era of software development where we need engineers who can focus on both the sides to bridge the gap between the development team and the operations team. That is the part where DevOps engineer came out. The engineer who knows the software development and also the IT operations and who can bridge the gap between it. So that is how, so this is Leela. So I have 7 years of IT experience, worked in areas of development, deployment, and monitoring the applications. So I'm currently working with savedroid as a DevOps engineer who is taking care of the infrastructure development, testing, security, and automation. So that is my responsibilities at savedroid here. So I'll share more and more insights when we go through the
Okay,
questions.
fair enough. Thank you. But what kind of role security plays in your job?
Yes. We can say that nowadays, as we host the application, every practice that we do definitely needs a security measures. So for the same reason, you might have heard of the principle of least privilege. This is the most important principle that we follow at savedroid. allowing the users, the services, the applications to have the bare minimum access to perform their work. So that is the principle that we follow at savedroid to ensure that there is a security implemented in every practice that we follow.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for providing that info, Leela, to our community, to the guys who are watching us live, and hopefully that will also watch us later, because we will provide, of course, this video to everyone. As you guys know or might have heard, we shared some survey that you could use to let us know what are the most pressuring questions that you have. And the first one that we would like to answer today, it's the following. What do you think the biggest problem with the savedroid app is, and where can you improve the most? This is definitely a very good question. So maybe, Leela, you want to give us your perspective on this?
Yes, I would say from a DevOps engineer perspective, the current challenge that we have at savedroid is we are implementing the latest technologies in the software development. You might have heard of serverless. So we are no more in an era where we provision the server, we deploy the application. So we are using serverless where AWS, we are using the major cloud provider in the industry, which is Amazon Web Services. So Amazon has launched a technology where you don't need any server provision, you don't need any scalability based on the load. I would say when you deploy a software in serverless technology, you have to architect your application very well so that you understand the software application flow. So we are using that serverless technology right now in our company, and we are working on a great challenge of keeping the application very tight to understand the flow, user flow from starting to the end. So that is a challenge from a technical perspective that we are currently working on. And also the second part is, as we talked about, the security in the application. As we can easily see, the vulnerabilities, the threats that we face in the current world, you have to develop your application more securely to make the users feel safe while using our application. So those are the two challenges that we are working very strong to achieve that.
Okay, good. I think, to be very honest, this is a very subjective subject, actually, because if you ask to our DevOps engineer, or if you ask to our COO, or if you ask to our product owner, you will probably receive different answers. In my perspective, because everyone kind of tries to put their own area in the spotlight, and so this is the most important. The most important is different for you and for me. In a project, and I would say also in a community perspective, I would say the biggest challenge right now that we are facing is the amount of bugs that we still have in the app. As you know, of course, bugs will always happen. I've been, and I want to make this very clear, I've been in technology companies long enough to understand and to realize that there's not such thing as a bug-free software. This would be an ideal world. We don't live in an ideal world, so it will always be there. But the thing, I think the most important aspect is that we are aware of this fact and what can we do to actually minimize the occurrence of such bugs, of such errors, of such glitches. And so I also would like to let you guys know a little bit of what we've been doing when identifying that problem, that challenge, what we have been doing, sometimes in a more reactive way, but we also very recently also try to be more in the proactive side of things, and so we've implemented some measures both on the reactive side and the proactive side. So what have we exactly been doing very specifically? So we've a couple of months ago, we've implemented what I call a scalable bug reporting process. As you guys know, we are growing. And when you get more people in the same office, communicate, there are some always struggles in communication. When it's just you and me, it's very easy to just communicate because, you know, I just need to inform you, not the whole range of stakeholders in the company, of employees, of community and all this. So it's much easier when there are two people to just, okay, I go to Leela, I can even just sit him down with me for 5 minutes and communication will flow very easily, very quickly.
Yes.
When you have multiple teams and every single team has numerous employees, then communication, it's a bit harder, and we need to put other channels in place, other efforts in place. So that's why I call this a scalable bug reporting process, because we had a bug reporting process before, but now this scalable process takes into consideration that we are growing, that we are a team of roughly 30 people, and that we also plan to expand further in the future. Also, we have this quality assurance process in place as well, both internally and externally. So internally, you guys know when a new version is ready to be released for you guys, we try our best to manually test internally that version. And then externally, we even a couple months ago signed this collaboration with Test.io. For the guys who don't know Test.io, maybe you even know a bit more about this, Leela. It's basically a platform that has this number of users that can test. We release the version to be tested, and they kind of do their work. Then on our side, we collect all those reports, of course, and then the product team prioritizes it, logs it into a project management tool that we use called Jira. Probably some of you guys heard about it, and then we take it from there. Then on the more preventive side of things, I'm very happy to tell you or just share this news. Maybe you guys didn't hear about this yet. We hired, actually, recently, I think it was the 1st of October was her first day, a QA, a quality assurance engineer, called Natalia, a very good addition to the team, also very good person. We've been able to exchange some words with her, so let me take also this opportunity to welcome her here live. And hopefully she will be putting processes in, even further processes in place, and being able to also with some script,
more ideas.
Exactly, with some scripts, and it's another resource that it's fully focused on quality assurance, because before, yes, we were doing this internally, but there was not a single person fully focused on quality assurance, and now we have this new resource in place, so we can only improve, I would say. But yeah, let me just then, point out once again, there's no such thing as a bug-free software. We know, we identified this challenge. We know there will always be bugs, and we should definitely be aware, but then we've made efforts towards improving all of these, and I'm very hopeful that next year we will be able to catch up on fixing quite some bugs, and also not releasing critical bugs to you guys, because in the end of the day, we are here for you, and the user experience should be as smooth as possible.
Right.
Then in terms of security, Leela, can you talk a little bit more about the HackerOne collaboration we have in place? Because your team actually handles it.
Yeah.
So would you like to provide some info?
Yes, I'll share this aspect of security. As we say that we develop the product at whatever the cost, you will always have the areas of improvement. So you have developed a product from your own perspective, but you should also know different views from different people. So HackerOne is one of the platforms that is available in the old worldwide, where you make your application available to the hackers outside in the world. And we have decided that in savedroid also, as we are building a product which is more secure and which is more stable. So we have made a collaboration with HackerOne, and we have let the hackers outside in the world access our application and hack into it and let us know the vulnerabilities that we are not able to see ourselves, and we want others to see it and identify it for us. So this is one such public platform where the hackers from worldwide will access your application and will let you know if there is any critical vulnerabilities present in your application. So we made that collaboration with HackerOne, and as I said, you will have a document present in their platform giving the details about our application. So whoever the hacker comes in, he will know about the application and he will try to hack something and find the vulnerability in the application. So this is the process that they have set up in HackerOne. So we found some good insights, and we found some good perspectives from hackers outside, and we are trying to, as I said, always we will have the areas of improvement, whatever the product that you built in. So we learn from them. We have identified those vulnerabilities and we have corrected it, and we have made our product more secure. So this is one platform where I really liked and the concept that we have implemented in savedroid to make it more secure.
So when I assume that when you mention hackers, it's the so-called white hat hackers, so the good hackers that are actually here helping the companies.
Yes, I would say they are good hackers because they will let you know the vulnerability that they have found, and so they get the reward from the company based on the critical vulnerability they found. So we have already a scope defined in the program, how the users, in what areas users should test it and identify the vulnerabilities. So this is definitely a nice program for any product that you built in.
Okay, cool. We actually have here a question in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on it. A person that maybe we don't know, right? Asking us to explain a little bit the difference between HackerOne and Test.io.
So Test.io is a platform where general users will get to know the functionality of the application, and they will test it according to the application flow. But hacker, it's a different mindset. Who is good at technology with which our product is implemented, he will break the normal way. For an example, the app is a cryptocurrency app. So the hacker is someone who can have a negative testing on it and find a flaw where he is able to access the user money without our knowing it. So hackers are a different people where they find the vulnerability. Test.io people are the one where they test the functionality of the application. So it's kind of positive versus negative flow of the application.
Okay, good. Thank you. So the second question, that came up not only in the pre-collected questions that you guys made, but also I've been keeping, of course, an eye on Telegram, and this is one of the most popular questions that once in a while pop up, which is, what kind of processes do you guys have in place? So we talked a little bit already about it, so I wouldn't spend too much time here, but so we already mentioned the bug reporting process, both internally and then we have all these, also, of course, this interface between the users and the developers. I talked a little bit about the tool that we use. So whenever, for example, just a very short example, when you guys report us a problem, a bug, an error, whatever, we collect that information, we try to reproduce it ourselves, and most part of the times, if we cannot reproduce it, that's why you guys probably noticed us asking other questions to understand. These questions is just to understand exactly what is the root cause of this problem. Because without the root cause, it's much harder than for the developers to fix it. They will not only spend much more time in a single bug report, but they will also potentially not even find the root cause easily. So that's why most part of the times we come back to you if we cannot reproduce it ourselves, asking you several questions, asking you for also screenshots of the bugs, and then once we get all this information, we compile it, and we use, once again, Jira to describe the whole bug, all the reproduction steps. We put all the visuals, the visual proofs. We put what is is it Android, is it iOS? So all these details in Jira. So then, when it's time or for the devs to look at it and try to find a fix, they will have all the information at the same place and will be much quicker and easier for them. Of course, then we have the whole quality assurance process I already mentioned. So when the devs end coding some part of the application, a new feature, bug fixes, whatsoever, they ask us to test a little bit. We also release it to test.io, and after that, once we have all the results of this testing, if there are critical bugs, we fix it before releasing the app to you guys. If not, then when it's ready, this version is released to the app stores. Then maybe let's talk about a little bit of the process that we actually have in place for software development itself. And here at savedroid, we apply agile methodologies. These kind of methodologies, there are a lot of concepts, I would say, a lot of ideas, but this is the most popular kind of methodologies in software development, I would say, in every company. I'm not sure if
you're right. So agile methodologies all over the world, wherever the software development is happening. So this agile methodology has different processes in place for different teams. So we will talk about two different such process today as a part of this question. So I would like to discuss first about the process that we have in the DevOps team. So we follow a Kanban process in the DevOps team, where so DevOps team works with the complete application flow. From starting from software development till the application is released to the users. So this is a complete flow that is that should be known to the team, which is our DevOps team. So we we are the ones who will take care of the improvement of the complete flow of the application. So we work in Kanban, where you analyze and improve the process flow of the software development to release the software faster and in a stable way. So because sometimes we get issues from live application where we have to handle them immediately. So Kanban is one such process which will adapt to the DevOps team. So that is why we follow Kanban process in savedroid for the DevOps team.
And generally speaking, correct me if I'm wrong, but Kanban essentially means that there's a limited number of tasks that you take at the same time.
Right.
Correct?
Right. So as we say that Kanban is actually a Japanese word which says a slow and continuous improvement. So as I said, the tasks that we decide were always be trying to help the testing team or a development team to improve their flow or to improve the process they implement the software. So to automate the things and make it easier for the testing or a development team. So these are the processes that need time to implement and show the result. So that is why we have a weekly task. Those were put into the Kanban board, and then we monitor it weekly. So this is the process that we follow with DevOps team in savedroid.
Okay. So whilst the DevOps team work in a Kanban way, let's call it like that, actually our development team works with, I would say, another agile methodology called Scrum. Scrum basically works into sprints. Sprints is just a word that it's an amount of time, a period of time that any company adjusts as they see fit. In savedroid's case, one sprint duration is of 1 week. So as you can see, we live in a very fast-paced environment, and this means that every week the goal is to release a new version in the market. That's why it's called sprint. Then there are a lot of ceremonies in Scrum to complete the sprint. When I say ceremonies, I mean pretty much meetings. In the end, they are meetings. So we have basically what we call a backlog grooming. Imagine we have a backlog, which is a list of all the tasks, all the stories, all the requirements that you can imagine that we have in the pipeline at some point. If we have a new idea, then this idea, if we think, okay, we actually should think a bit more about it, and probably this is something we want to implement sometime in the future. We don't exactly know when. The first thing we do is put some sort of requirements for this feature, describe this feature in this list that we call backlog. This backlog grooming just means that they look into the highest priority tasks of the backlog. They kind of see the detailed requirements, the detailed scope of a set of those tasks. They also assess the task's complexity, because it's important for the dev's work. And this is the work that needs to be done before we have what we call the sprint planning meeting. And in this sprint planning meeting, there are a lot, especially at savedroid, a lot of people involved. I am there, the development team is there, the product owner is there. Even sometimes the COO and the CTO are there. It's basically to also make sure everyone knows what the development team will be working on that week, and clarify any kind of doubts, if maybe people need more details on how to proceed with the task. So that's the perfect meeting to clarify all those details. Usually this sprint planning at savedroid happens on a Tuesday. And then the whole week goes. Tuesday afternoon, sorry, the whole week goes, and then we have what we call also sprint review Tuesday morning, which is usually marks the end of the sprint, the end of that week, where the development team at savedroid introduces what they did. It's actually quite nice because they open their apps and they see us and they show us and they explain us in detail exactly what was done, how these certain features work, etc., etc. So it's basically a final check, a sanity check, I would say as well. And right after this sprint review, the development team also has a sprint retrospective. It's that kind of meeting that they use to understand what went fine during that week, what they should keep doing for future sprints, and then what can they improve. Because sometimes our challenges, there are always some unexpected events happening, and basically this meeting also serves to prepare ourselves for the future and how to deal better with certain unexpected events in the future.
Right.
So then we also had the time to compile some more questions that you guys had. Let's start maybe, Leela, with these ones. You want to read it?
Yeah. So we got a question from one of the users, is when will we see the burn rate in the app? So the question is SVD still being burned? So I would say that we have currently no plans to implement it in the app to show the users about the burning tokens. So, but still the users have access to the burning address that is available in the app to see the process. So as we have made a commitment to the users that we regularly burn the tokens, so with that commitment, I should say that the last burning of the token has happened in this week. So we make it regularly as promised to the users. We will ensure that it happens very regularly.
Yes, we will. We have reminders set in place for that. So we actually committed to do this regularly every month, and so at the end of the month we are making the effort to burn the tokens. Exactly. Then a few more questions also related to SVD. I bundled two. So the first one would be, when will I be able to transfer SVD from my wallet to the app? And when can I buy SVD with the app? So yes, definitely, as you guys know, at the moment, the transactions with SVD only happens in one way. So if you have SVD in app, you can already transfer it to your private wallet with no problem. But then what's missing here is the other way around, right? You have SVD in your wallet, you purchased maybe SVD in the ICO and it was delivered directly to your wallet. You cannot at the moment transfer it to the app. We have had several requests on this because of this situation. People actually want to use SVD, which is a positive thing. This feature request is actually on our backlog, the list of tasks for the future that we explained. It's called backlog. When will this be implemented? Unfortunately, I cannot give you any ETA. Now, I'm not. We learn from mistakes, and we don't want to promise anything that we have 100% sure will happen. So yes, it's in the backlog, but we cannot give you an ETA at this precise moment. But yes, we won't forget. This is already logged. There are already some descriptions for this and how it should work. The product team also is aware of all these requests. So hopefully, cross your fingers, we will be able to implement this soon.
Yeah.
Soon. And when can I buy SVD with the app? Yes, there's also no ETA at the moment. This one, it's probably the priority, I would even say, if we want to prioritize the first feature request that we talked about, would even probably have higher priority than this one, but it's also in our product backlog.
Right.
Okay.
So one more question that we got from the users on their demand is that to have the instant top-ups available in the app. So we considered their feedback, and our development team has implemented it, and now you're going to see the instant top-ups in the crypto app. The moment you do the instant top-up, you can see it is converted to the crypto and is available for you to see it in the balance. So we are sure we are open with all ears, and we are ready to hear your feedback and implement and the app accordingly. So thank you. We are waiting for more feedback from the users.
Yes, good. Yeah, so actually this top-up function, let me give you a bit more insight. This top-up function was by itself already something that the users requested, but I know from listening from reading on Telegram, not listening, but reading on Telegram, they were actually expecting this instant top-up. So we implemented it before without this kind of functionality, and now that the users gave us this feedback, we decided, yes, it's time for us to implement this, and the development team is already working on it, so should be very, very soon. It's definitely the next in the pipeline. So that's a very positive feature that we will have. And let me also have the opportunity here. This instant top-up was also the perfect timing to implement this instant top-up, because we implemented PayPal, we integrated PayPal, and with the, I'm not a technical person, but the way this was explained, basically, the way the credit card before, that was our only payment method. The way credit card was implemented before would make this kind of feature, this kind of instant top-up, a bit more harder to implement. So we took the opportunity, now that PayPal is integrated, to move this instant top-up along, and so it was the perfect timing, I would say.
I should also say it is the most loved payment method by all the users. So we heard your feedback, and then we implemented the PayPal for you.
Exactly. There are also some questions regarding this PayPal integration, because this PayPal integration, as you guys know, happened in phases, and the last phase is still ongoing. So first we implemented PayPal for the new users. So new users that register an account would get what we call in the onboarding process, which is, so the onboarding process, when you register an account, you have some kind of steps until the moment you go to the dashboard of the app. And during that process, the users will already be able to set up PayPal. Then this week, the development team also implemented a new version with the PayPal integration for the users who have previously connected their credit card. And this is where I think some questions came up on Telegram. So let me give you on the spot some information about this. Users that are connected to the credit card previously in other versions. Right now, when you update your app and you log in again to your account, you will see this pop-up, this window, it's the first thing you will see, saying that we integrated PayPal and asking you to select PayPal as your payment method. So you cannot skip it, yes, but don't worry. This is just development team integrated in order to so the system can recognize that you actually selected PayPal and that you want to use PayPal. So you just need to click on the select PayPal button, then you will get into a successful screen.
Right.
And at this moment, you don't need to do anything else. This is not a bug. This is actually a feature request. There were some confusion about this kind of mechanics, but don't worry, it's not a bug. It's happening as expected. Then what will happen when you click select PayPal? After a few hours, you will actually get, if you have money to be converted, you will receive a push notification in your phone. This push notification will redirect you to the app, and in this moment, you will be able to add your PayPal credentials, and the money then will be converted into crypto. That's how this is working. Now, the last phase of the PayPal integration will happen within the next few weeks. It's about fine-tuning some parts of the integration pretty much, and also allow us to test a little bit more, to collect feedback from you guys. So feel free, contact us if you have feedback, give us some thoughts on Telegram, also via email, helpdesk@savedroid.com. We are ready to listen, to collect that feedback, and then to communicate that with the product team. So guys, if you have feedback, feel free to let us know, and we will take, of course, that into consideration. And we have then this last phase to prepare all these, also taking your feedback into consideration. Mm-hmm.
So one more last question that I would take from the users that they're asking what are the technologies or best practices that you are implementing in the technological department. So I'm coming from a technical team. I would say we are currently implementing infrastructure as a code, which is the modern practices of managing the infrastructure. So the data servers, the storage, and the networking equipment, everything is in the cloud now. So you manage every infrastructure required for your application using the code. So so we are currently working on that. As you know, we are from a technology guys, and we want to implement the new trends in the technology. So that is the reason we are also attending the Cloud Expo event on the November 13th to 14th. If you want to meet us for the savedroid team, so be ready to be there in the Frankfurt Messe in the November 13th to 14th. So I would love to see you guys in the Cloud Expo event.
Okay, we actually also have another event this time. It's more an HR event actually, and if you want to meet us there, feel free to show up. It's the ITCS conference. It's an IT and tech conference. Also has some HR part there, HR summit, I believe. So a few of us will be there, me included, for some time. You will be able also to meet our HR team, Aga, Jakshin, and a few other people. So if you happen to be in Frankfurt on that time, feel free to show up. We will provide you more information on our social media channels, so stay tuned to it. And I think we are running out of time. I'm getting those sign-ons here. So I hope this AMA was helpful, was informative. Exactly. Yeah. And let's see who is the next victims, the next kings and queens of the AMA. I hope you also enjoyed taking part on these.
I enjoyed. It was pleasure taking the questions from users and interacting with the users. Okay. So thank you.
So thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.